work, job, my boss, all this.
Get out there and begging for money. Begging's gonna be your best friend. You're gonna have your arms out extended.
We're not getting a job. It sounds like y'all jealous because we found a way to make it work without a job.
Y'all, grocery prices is too high. Rent is too high, but the wages are too low. I never understood how is everybody raising the price of everything. But one thing that's not going up is the wages. It's like everybody just trying to make profit nowadays, you know, but not worried about the little man. People are opting out of the system, y'all. They like, you know what? F this. I'm done. And I kind of get it. I kind of understand. Like, the older you get, the more you just want peace. A peace of mind, a peace away from the drama, and peace away from any strongholds that's holding you down from you being able to experience life. And for many of us, a nice apartment or a nice house, a car that we could call our own, is really all we need. At least that's what I thought we all needed. Brothers nowadays is like, you know what? Keep your car, keep your house, keep your job. I'ma choose a different route. These brothers is on something different nowadays. Check this out right here.
Fuck work, fuck jobs, fuck my boss, fuck all that shit. We living free. We living free, man. Fuck that shit, man. I ain't never going to work again, bro. Fuck that shit, bro. I ain't worried about getting no apartment right now, none of that shit, bro. I'm living free. I'm living free. It's Planet Fitnesses you can walk your ass into, take a shower, all type of shit. As long as I got my guidance, I don't give a fuck about this shit, y'all. Trying to get y'all to see this bigger picture, too. It gets tiring, bro, going to work every single day. I'm giving your whole day to somebody else. You ain't got no time to do nothing you want to do. Tired of paying bills, bro.
And make this stop. Pretend to be somebody, pretend to be something that we not, want to live off, want to be inspired by these celebrities. They don't got shit for real to offer.
Exactly.
Half these niggas are spiritually dead. You don't want to realize that because a lot of niggas realize it's too late.
So to all y'all fellas that feel like you gotta have a house in order to keep a woman, well, as you can see, this brother living on the grass with watermelon and sunflower seeds and his lady sticking beside him. You ain't got no excuse, man. You ain't got no excuse. As much as I could say that's uncomfortable, you know, I could see the flies flying by. You know, I think a fly landed on him mid-video. But anyway, as much as I want to say that's uncomfortable, the word comfortable is not a universal feeling. And like I said, although that's not my path for life, because what I want to physically see in life requires me to have some type of moolah, this is a great example why you should never see a homeless person as less than, because a lot of the people that you see as homeless, they have actually made that choice and they're more free than a person that's giving them $1. Because remember, freedom is a state of mind, it's not a way of living. Because you could be in a big house with all the materialistic things, but you're a prisoner to everything you have that's physical. Somebody that has chose freedom mentally, feel like they're in the free world, they're actually living a lot more peaceful than you are, which is why you should never look at a homeless man as if he's less than.
We not getting a job. It sounds like y'all jealous because we found a way to make it work without a job, and you still gotta work a 9 to 5, pushing 40 hours plus a week.
This might be the only time I can properly use this phrase, but gang, please rev up those fryers. For the sake of you, your girlfriend, and I think you got a kid on the way, you are quite literally living in a tent because you refuse to get a job. Newsflash, buddy. Newsflash, buddy. Nobody with a job actually wants a job. If you gotta work at McDonald's or be a trash man for the time being until you can get on your feet, that's just what you gotta do, bro. And let's say you wanna go the e-begging route. You are doing a horrible job. Gang, why are you biting the hands that feed you? The people that donate money to you are working 9 to 5s. You're fumbling the bag. And this whole situation is weird to me because I couldn't help but pocket watch bro views, and as a TikToker myself, I see some racks. Looking at them views, bro, it's definitely enough for an apartment. And if it's not, he can move to a small town like the one I grew up in and get an apartment for like $700. And then if I'm not mistaken, bro had a GoFundMe. Like, I don't know. I think it's something we don't know about.
See, if you stacking money and you're doing this temporarily, okay, I could kind of understand. But living on the street or not having a shelter to actually go to comes with a lot more than just some bugs. You can easily get jumped in your sleep, drugged in your sleep, robbed in your sleep, because you're exposed to a world with no shelter to defend you. See, when you pay for a house or you pay for an apartment, you're also paying for the security. There's a lot of crazy people in this world for you to just be sleeping out in the open, and John Doe and Jane Doe is just walking on by looking at you while you're vulnerable in sleep, especially if you're a woman. So while sure there's a safe way to do things, I understand, you gotta be really careful, especially if you got a family. Like he said that brother has a baby on the way and everything. Like, and to me, I just can't vouch for that. Like, you out here making a decision to just stay on the streets in a tent with a baby. Now I gotta say, you're just being selfish. You better grind and figure it out. But you'll be surprised, in this time, in this economy, a lot of people, a lot of y'all are only one paycheck away from being homeless.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to teach you guys how to be homeless. Very interesting thing. A lot of people don't know how to suffer or struggle. I'm going to teach you guys that it's actually not as difficult as you think. So step one, you're going to have to get used to carrying aluminum foil. Aluminum foil is going to be your best friend. Aluminum foil, if you keep it, it doesn't trigger sensors and things of that variety. So just want to let you know that aluminum foil eliminates sensor triggers. Just want to let you know that. I'm not going to say what to use that for, but just want to let you know aluminum foil is your best friend. So bigger stores are your best friend too. Walmart, Myers, bigger stores, especially around closer to when it's closing and right when it opens. Good times to go in. But if you look dirty, they're going to look at you. So here's what you want to do. Laundromats. Right now, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm at a laundromat. Laundromats are 24/7. Nobody usually is in laundromats. That's probably the best thing about them. So I would say chill at laundromats, especially in the colder months, and gather money outside. You're going to want to be next to intersections. You're going to want to be outside, things of that variety. You're going to want to be getting used to just being out there and begging for money. Begging's gonna be your best friend. You're gonna have your arms out extended and beg in church. Churches are really great for you. Why are churches great? You're gonna have to put back your religious hate for about 3 seconds and hear me out. Churches like to give away free food. Wednesdays around here in Michigan, they like to give around free food. And sometimes on Sunday mornings, they just like to give around free food to the homeless people. I don't know why. Pretty nice. It's good to just get the free food. Now, a lot of places, especially missions, like there's Cherry Street Mission, there's the LaGrange Street Mission, things of that nature. Those places end up having you have an ID. So a lot of people are homeless because all their documentation gets ruined and in the wash, or they get kicked out and they can't grab their documentation. Well, this is actually good. Hear me out. This is what you want to do. You want to, for the sake of brevity, go down to your courthouse and get a birth certificate. Birth certificates should cost around $35 to $50. Buy a birth certificate.
See, the common misconception is that homeless people are just bums on the street, or they're crackheads just on the street, or they're just downright dirty people. I would challenge anyone that thinks like that to broaden your horizon a little bit, and let me give you a different perspective. Instead of frowning upon somebody because they gotta live in a shelter, all it takes for somebody to be homeless is bad credit, no family support, a job that doesn't pay, or a job that fires you, because most people have all of their power is at their job, or even having one eviction on your record. So I want to kind of explain the whole eviction part, being that I'm a landlord myself. So before you guys get mad at landlords, because I know a lot of people, they get mad at their landlord, they say they're greedy. Let me explain the perspective of a landlord. Most landlords have to still pay the bank. The reason why a lot of rents have went up is because the interest rates in order to own a property has went up. So a lot of times it's not your actual landlord that's trying to put the prices so high. It's the bank that went so high, or it's the economy that's making your landlord have to pay more to the bank. So now the way your rent comes into play is because when you pay your rent, let's just say it's $2,500, and your landlord has to pay $2,000 to the bank, he needs your rent in order to pay the bank. Now, let's just say interest or taxes go up like it did for my house recently. Now, the rent in the area is also going to go up. That's how it works. So you got to really make sure that the person that you have staying inside of your building, that they are the type of person that's going to pay you your money so you can pay the bank, or you're going to get in trouble with the bank. But now if you have an eviction on your record, that just tells me I might have to possibly evict you because you broke somebody else's trust in a different agreement. And evictions cost a lot of money For landlords, it's not, oh, just call the police and just kick those people out. No, it costs a lot of money. So where I'm supposed to be making money from you being there so I could pay off the place that I own, I'm actually losing money because now I got to pay for you to leave. So having bad credit says that you don't pay people on time, and allowing somebody to move into your property that has an eviction on their record is like hiring somebody to work at a car dealership that has felonies for stealing cars from car dealerships. For most landlords, it's just not worth the risk. But that's literally all it takes to be homeless. And for a lot of people, their eviction was really out of their hands. Maybe their job fired them. Maybe their wages didn't cover what the new rent was. But it's that easy for somebody to become homeless. So before you judge somebody as if you can't be that person, understand a perspective on how somebody can become homeless. Especially in today's day and time when you walk into Walmart or you walk in a grocery store and you could grab 5 items and you're easily paying $100. And usually the only way out of most of those problems, the bad credit, the eviction on your record, you will have to have a lot of capital in order to convince somebody to still give you an opportunity. But more than likely, if you have a lot of capital, you don't have those issues.
I've got 90 days to get my life together. Inside of this homeless shelter. Let me explain. I had everything. Nice apartment, family, friends, connects to the music industry, but I still wasn't happy. Depression set in, lost my job, couldn't pay my bills, and now here I am. I'm at the Nashville Rescue Mission for Men, enrolled in their 90-day program, which means I've got 90 days to get my life back together, get back to music, or I'm back out on the streets.
How did you become homeless? Let me tell you, man, it's because I helped people, man. Because of helping, man. I gave to the whole of Windsor, man. And anyone could tell you that. Anybody that helped people start their own businesses, you understand me? Because of addiction. Addiction drawed us even deeper into the roots of the streets. I miss my family, man.
What would you say is your biggest regret in life?
Falling in love. Because when you allow your emotions to get up your intelligence, everything is fucked. Yeah.
I want to make your day a little bit better and give you some money.
I appreciate it, man. Whatever you're doing, continue doing it, man. And put that shit out there, man.
If you meet a guy and he wants to move in super quickly with you, and all of his belongings that he's bringing fits into one of these, or one of these, he has little to nothing of his own, which means he's used to bouncing from place to place using people. And he's very likely a narcissistic hobosexual who is using you for a place to live.
There's some people on the internet that's just straight ruthless. But this video that I'm making, I really wanted to broaden y'all perspectives on how y'all perceive the homeless. Because a lot of us are just one paycheck away from being just like that person. And then when you ask yourself, or when you tell yourself, oh no, it's because they were strung out on drugs. Oh no, a homeless person, yeah, but why they look like they fiending for drugs? Sometimes when you're just laying on the side of the street, you can get drugged. And then when you wake up, you're now chasing that drug because of that high that you was forced upon you. Or let's just say you was a regular average Joe, living your life, smoking a joint like most people do. Somebody laced you. Now you're strung out on drugs, chasing that crack, chasing whatever drug that was. Now and you're willing to lose everything. So now you're living on the streets. If I could tell any young person anything, okay, protect your credit like you protect your heart, okay? Your credit as an adult says more than you having a lot of cash. Okay, there's a lot of people with a lot of cash that can't get a lot of stuff done. A wise man told me something very powerful at a very young age. If you have great credit, you don't need a lot of cash. Credit can make you money, all right? And all credit is credibility to the person that you're borrowing from. So if you borrow money, let's say you have a credit card, stop using credit cards as extra money. I'm gonna give y'all some game real quick. You should not be using a debit card to swipe at all. You should only be swiping credit cards. But you use your credit card as your debit card. Keep up with me. Every time you swipe your credit card, you're only swiping for money that you know is on your debit card. So if I have $100 on my debit card, right, and I have an expense that's $150, but I want to swipe it on my credit card, you don't have the money for that. Even if your credit card approves, you don't have the money for that. That's how people wind up behind saying, oh, I'm gonna pay myself later. No, you only swipe on the money that you have, because what you're supposed to do is, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this because it's $70 and I have $100 on my debit card. Now you pay your credit card back off. This is how you create a great relationship with credit card. Now, you maintain a good credit score. Ask the adults in your family, how has having credit affected your life? Watch the things they tell you, whether it was good credit or bad credit. And I'm gonna tell you another little play about having a credit card. A lot of these credit cards have cash backs. So if you're paying for stuff with a debit card, this is stuff that the rich people know. If you're paying stuff with a debit card, you get nothing for that. Your money's just gone. It just goes to the person that you bought from. If you're paying with a credit card, your credit goes up, you're using it properly, and you can also get cash back or rewards. And when it's time for you to get a loan, let's just say for a car, for a house, you now have built a relationship with a bank that trusts you, which is why maintaining a good relationship with whoever you have credit card with is very important. But that is the biggest piece of advice that I could give any man that does not have a lot of money or doesn't have access to a lot of money. Maintain good credit. And that's just being trustworthy. That's just saying I'm only gonna borrow what I know I could pay back because I have that money, not because you think you'll have that money. I'm telling you, that's what everybody does. Everybody borrows money and says, yeah, I'll pay it later, and then they never pay it back. And now they're sitting here 10 years later trying to pay for something that they borrowed 10 years ago. But now it's hard for them to catch up back to zero because you borrowed on something that you did not have. Only reason why I use my credit cards is because I want to build a relationship with me and the banks. So if I do want another house, I could just ask this bank. If I want another car, I could just ask this bank. And that takes me to my very last thing that I'm gonna say. If you could buy a car cash, a good Honda Accord, Honda Accords go well over 200,000 miles. And I mean, I have a Honda Accord myself. I also got a BMW i8, but my BMW i8, it pays for itself. The Range Rover I had, the Corvette, all of them pay for themselves. Corvette got stolen. The Range Rover, I wound up turning it in because the engine went bad. But that's beside the point. Do not get a car note if you do not have to. The biggest expenses that most adults have is their rent and their car. If you can minimize how much you pay for the 4 wheels that you drive, you're already ahead of most adults. Because believe it or not, a lot of people, the way they purchase their cars is through their ego. But what they don't realize, I have personally experienced this by having different type of cars. It's cool when you first get the car, but after a couple of months, that car just becomes 4 wheels that you got to put gas in, and it got windows and it got a radio. That's it. That's all the car becomes. All right, so if you could get a cheap car and it's comfortable, do that, okay? Because repos is another thing. A repossession on your record is just like having an eviction. Live way below your means, people. If you get it raised, that does not mean you raise your bills. I'm trying to give y'all some quick little life advice. Now, I mean, so you don't have to be in this homeless. But these things I'm talking about right now is how most people mess up their finances. And that's how quick you can trip onto being homeless. But anyways, y'all, it's been your boy, Top Boogie. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on my post notifications. Yo, I want to start going live. But I know YouTube has a lot of restrictions on the live and stuff. So if we could get on Twitch, that'd be great. Now, I mean, so if y'all could go follow my Twitch, I'm going to link it in the description below. I'm not going to be like these streamers doing 12-hour streams, 24-hour streams. It's going to be more like a catch-up session. We might watch something together or whatever. Now, I mean, but yeah, man, I do want to grow on that platform as well. So if y'all would support me, I would really appreciate that. All right, hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on my post notifications and all that good stuff, man. Until next time, man, it's been your boy, Ty Boogie. I'm out of here.